Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lethal Sales. We're so happy you could all join us tonight. Tonight's topic is customer experience, and I know Peter's dying to tell us a story, so he's going to get started.
Well, good evening, everyone. When we talk about customer experiences, it's truly on how you make the customer feel. And I was asked just recently to look at expanding a BDC or decreasing a BDC using AI for a high-end dealership. And so I said, well, what are they looking for? And I was told, oh, they want to increase their sales and decrease their BDC and reduce their employment costs using AI. They heard my name, they wanted me to do it. So the very first thing I said, well, do they actually know where the challenge is? And I was told yes. And so I said, well, trust but verify. So I went to the keyboard, put in a lead, sent it off to the dealership. I did it precisely 2 minutes before they opened, just to see the speed to respond. At 5 to 6 minutes after they opened, I got an email back saying, "I'm sorry, we're closed. Here's a video telling you what our next steps will be." Great. So now I have to watch a video telling me that they're closed and they'll respond to my lead when they're open. 25 minutes later, they responded to my lead with a cut and paste template email with grammatical errors everywhere. Now, just to let you know, this is a premium brand dealership. The car I was looking at was in the high 5 figures. 5 hours later, they called me back and they said, "Hi, how are you?" I explained I was from Canada. It was a US dealer I was dealing with. I said, my son's going to the local university in your town. I'm going to reward him with a brand new car for making the grades that he did. And they'd never asked me what year he was in. Never. They only asked me what he was studying. That was it. They asked me where he was living. I said he's going to be living on campus, and and they said, "Okay, great." I said it's going to be a cash purchase, and I'm ready to go basically at any time. The person turned around to said, "Well, if you have any more questions, reach out to us." Never asked me about anything, but just reach out to us. I said, "Well, my first question is, am I going to be dealing with you, or is someone else I'm going to be talking to?" He said, "Oh, we'll get you a salesperson." I said, "Great." 3 minutes later, I get an email from the salesperson. He's asked me a number of questions. I answer them. He sends me back and forth for 45 minutes, 5 emails. Then 9 days later, I still haven't received a follow-up email or a telephone call since my last experience. Now, I look at it and say, this is not the, I would hope that this is not the norm, but unfortunately, I know it is the norm. The norm is that not the norm is actually people going out and doing their jobs and contacting people and creating that rapport with the customer and understanding what their needs are and how to address them and how to solve the solutions. But because we're too busy as middle management and upper management to understand that our processes are broken, our CX suffers. And we look to things like net promoter scores and customer service CSI surveys and this and that, and that's how we feel that we judge our jobs. Hey, we got a net promoter score of 4.8 out of 5. We're doing a great job. We got to see it. We're averaging our CSI score at 97%. We're tops in the segment. Well, realistically, you want to know what you're doing? Get your customers in there and get people that didn't buy, didn't service, and get their information. Have an independent go out and find that out. Because right now, you have no idea what's going on in your dealership. Because if I was the person that was looking to buy that car, I'd be down the road. And the worst part about it is when I spoke to the GM, this is a dealership that has 4 of their brand in their city. So there's one, he's one of 4 dealerships. And he said, we're in the top 3 in our city. And I almost fell off my chair when he said that, because that means you're in the bottom half. So we got to address it, and there's got to be ways that we can see it, because we're just not doing it at a good job at the point right now. Would you agree, Larry?
I would absolutely agree. I'm about to conduct a comedy show tomorrow. I'm at a dealership not too far from Pittsburgh. I had 9 really good candidates, and I sent them all out to do my usual, say you're looking for a car for your sister who just had a baby. And what we all know what's going to happen. It's going to be, why the hell isn't your sister here? What's your credit like? Tell her to look online. And the scariest thing is that nobody's going to go back to their desk and say, you know, that guy or that lady seemed really nice. I wonder if I handled them as well as I can. You know, everybody loves to quote Einstein, but not think deeply enough about it. Insanity is the true definition, is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It's frightening that we're in a business as a salesperson where you control your own income. Nobody else. That's why at every dealership, Russell, there's a guy making $190,000 standing next to a guy that can't make a living. So to not understand the potential we can have to make money, to build a following, to have fun, it's crazy. And some of it has to bounce back to the management, because if they're not keeping an eye on the people, how the hell are these people going to police themselves? You know, how many managers have people doing walkarounds for the staff and commenting, or doing role playing? You know, and we're by the way, Eric, it's nice to see you. Thanks for joining in with us. We're in a situation now where post-COVID, people have gotten even stupider. They forgot how to answer the phone. They forgot how to smile. They forgot how to hold the conversation. Russell, you know me, when I'm on the road, I get about 2 hours sleep. I'm so wired, it's frightening. And I got 3 calls, 1 hang up because it was late at night and early in the morning, and one guy that actually said, I didn't think anybody would answer. Then why the hell are you calling me? So when you take an illogical grasp of what this is, that it's open to building as big a business as you want and as big a following as you want, and this is how we continue to act. I don't know. When I ran my store, and I'm no BDC expert, that's Wendy, but man, I would go up there once in a while, and if I said, if you don't do anything else, answer the phone and respond to people quickly. Even if it's wrong, do something that's expeditious. So the fact that it's still happening is frightening, Peter. And then combine it with the fact, wait, for 2 years, nobody had cars and there was no floor plan expense. Now you got cars and huge floor plan expense. I think I'd be more inclined to jump out of my chair and help and reach out to people than ever before. But you know, what the hell do I know? I'm trying to make sense. That's an illogical argument.
I'm going to add 2 things to that, Larry, because on that statement that you've made, there's 2 things that I've taken away and used multiple times that you've said. One is, don't treat your customers as annoyances; they're annuities.
That's correct.
And the second one was that, why should I buy from you? Because I'm selfish. I'm going to give you such good service that you're going to refer every single person, your family, your friends, your business people, everyone to me, because you're never going to have a reason not to do business with me. So right. These are 2 different things, 2 paramount items to look at customer experience. You have to understand that you're building a book of business, and if you look at it in any manner, shape, or form, you go to a restaurant. Do you want to go to, and sorry, Rhonda, get the jar, a shitty restaurant, and you're going to return to go back?
Erica, so we have a swear jar and we have a bunch of foul-mouthed people, and Rhonda put a deposit down on a Porsche. So feel free to use any foul language you want to use. Rhonda appreciates it.
So do you want to go back to that restaurant, or do you want to go to the great restaurant and repeat your service there? Do you want to stay in the Fleabag Hotel, or do you want to stay in the Sheraton and sleep on a beautiful pillow top mattress? You want to go where you feel great. And it's and price is really inconsequential. It's how they feel will make them buy.
Hey, Peter, I know Tony usually has to jump out early. Can I just throw one thing at you guys about how simplistic I think this all is? And then we'll jump to Tony in case he has to, have his meeting. About, gosh, I guess it was 2 or 3 years now at this point. I got a call from a guy I met in Virginia. He had come to Eric. I'm the world's craziest trainer. I tend to talk about every damn subject except cars, and being mentally unstable. People find it entertaining. So this guy caught my act and called me and said, "You are out of your mind, but I can't believe that 14 people never looked at their iPhone and you spoke for 3 hours." So long story short, he called me up. I promise there's a point here, Peter. He called me up and he said, "Are you on Clubhouse?" Erica, I am the single dumbest tech person around. You need tech help, ask Russell, ask Peter. You got Jeff Scherer on here. He could write manuals on it. I'm the worst. I said, I don't even know what the hell Clubhouse is. But I got on, it was Tuesday. When I got on Wednesday, it was Pitch Tank. This was Kyle Monsieur before he joined in with Asodicon and David Long. And after everybody spoke at the end of the call, I said, hey, I'm not a contestant, but I'd like to speak. And David Long appreciates insanity. And he said, go ahead. And I said, I can get texts. And he said, nobody can. I said, I can. Well, that led to me getting 5 texts for Kyle. And I've been working with David Long ever since. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is the only reason I'm close to Pittsburgh is David Long was at a meeting with somebody and the marketing guy was from here. And he said, man, we're really hurting. We cannot find people. And David Long said, call Feldman. This stuff hasn't changed. Russell loves, Erica, you'll find out Russell loves to quote the fact that if you look at the manuals on how to train and how to sell from 50 years ago, it's the same stupid stuff over and over because we've stagnated. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going back to the positive side of it too. If you smile at people, if you write stuff down, if you have an attitude of gratitude, if you make it clear, boy, am I glad I spoke to you and I'm glad you're here and thank you for the opportunity. This stuff is easy. This stuff is, if I seem a little fired up, guys, I'm just having the most fun week. I got up Sunday at 7 in the morning. I played 2 hours of tennis, whooped everybody. Then I played with the band for 3 hours. We're recording next week. And then I drove 4 hours. And I called 3 different people and they all said, oh, I'm a little busy. I didn't get anything. Shut up. Okay. So the bottom line is we're right back to where we always are before we jump into Tony. If you got an attitude of gratitude, if you have a plan, if you realize your butt's going to be gone one day, you're going to be dead, and turn the volume up, nobody can stop you. Tony, do you have some thoughts? Hurry up before Erica jumps off. I think 2 more minutes. I
absolutely have some
therapy.
Hopefully you can hear me. I'm sorry if my mic was unmiked or unmuted. I'm out enjoying a beautiful motorcycle ride just before my small group. Hey, I found this really great book today. You're not going to believe it. Here it is. It's an amazing book, and I'm about to go read it because it's going to help me with
No. You can't get away with saying that. That is not an amazing book. That is the amazing book, because every single fable, parable, novel, Shakespearean story is based off of the Bible.
It's all right in this book.
Every concept of human nature in there.
Yeah. Read this book. You'll have an attitude of gratitude in no time at all, really. It's just amazing what it's done in my life and what it can do in your life. And I'll tell you, you were talking about role playing, and this morning in Clubhouse, I got caught up in a role play. I wish I could have played it out, and I wasn't able to do it, but I love to role play, guys. If you want to learn phone skills, I might not be the best, but I'm a person who cares about making you the best. So I'm more than happy about getting together to role play phone skills, especially in the sales end of it. So I just think that, Larry, you had said that some of the techniques we use now are 50 years old. Well, that's because they work as long as you check your heart and your heart's in the right place when you use these techniques. And I think that's one.
Brother, wait a minute. They're not 50 years old. Okay. You're a biblical scholar. They're 2,000 years old.
They're timeless.
Ecclesiastes says, whatever thy hand shall find, do it with all thy might. You're talking to a customer, smile at them, talk to them.
Right
If-
here,
if
I'm
you're-
reading about Solomon. Look what Solomon did. Look what that guy did. He thought he had it all. He had it all. He had it all, screwed it up, and managed to put it all back together. So I'm telling you, no matter where you are in your life, you can turn it around, but you got to start now.
And you know what? Solomon was the one when they couldn't decide and he was going to cut the baby in half. Rhonda and I have adopted that philosophy for Democrats. We'll talk after the show, Tony.
Yeah, man, I love you guys. Thanks for letting me chime in. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
just before you go, Tony.
Yeah.
Who's the guest for Friday morning?
That was the fellow that was in Wendy's room, I think. Right? Wendy?
Dan, the demo man.
Dan is coming in
Nope.
again? No, not
No.
Dan. It's the other
No.
guy. Was it?
Justin
Justin.
Hughes,
Okay.
Justin
Firebringer AI.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Sharp,
So if you're
sharp cat.
If you're new to the Automotive Partners Association, Friday morning, 7:30 Central in Clubhouse, the APA, we're going to have a fresh new face in there, or voice, I should say. And so the opportunity to come in and learn a little bit about some of our vendor partners on Friday morning. And then before I finish here, I did want to tell everybody about the training session we've got going on in Atlanta, September 2nd and 3rd down at the Pinnacle Training Center. I talked about it earlier today. It's a fantastic opportunity. We're going to bring all the vendor partners together down in Atlanta for 2 days, and we're going to get to know each other. We're going to sharpen our saw. We're going to learn from one of the best, Jonathan Dawson, on how to work with dealers. And then we're also going to be able to meet with Patrick Abad with the Beaver Group. He's going to come in and he's going to tell us what dealers look for in a strong vendor partner relationship. So I want to encourage you to all get involved with that. Learn more about it on Friday morning. And that's
Hey,
my
Tony,
commercial.
I already put my deposit in. And for anybody that didn't hear, I am starting a new business. It's going to be similar to CDK. I'm going to take less of your money, but you'll still be shut down. You'll save money.
So yep.
Love every minute of it.
Yeah.
This is going to be called
Oh.
LF.
That's it.
Hey, Tony, you said 7:30. What happened to 7?
7, I'm sorry, 7. 777.
The show, Erica, is Automotive Partners.
Yep.
It's on Clubhouse. It's from 8. You said 7:30. Did we change the time? 'Cause
No, it's just 7.
Central. It's
Okay.
7:30 in the best part of the country, Central Time. Wendy forgot how nice it was.
8:30 Eastern Standard. Okay, just wanted
Yep.
to make sure.
Look at
No,
this
wait a
You got
guy.
minute.
that,
Hold on,
Erica?
hold on. It is
Look at that.
7 Central Time.
Right.
7
That's what I'm
Central.
saying.
Yep.
It's not 7:30, it's 7. It runs to 7 to 8, which is 8 to 9, because we get off
Yep.
before David Long's on, and the
Yep.
show usually runs longer than a half an hour.
Yep.
Look at this. Wisconsin
Yeah.
in the summertime. You got to love it.
Tony,
Unfortunately-
I remember it well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Erica, he doesn't, since he's a biblical guy, he doesn't use a watch, he uses a sundial, and apparently it went behind a cloud. No problem, Tom. We still love you.
Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank
Bye,
you.
Take care,
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
So on that note, let's hear from Russell and his thoughts on customer experience. You have obviously a foundation in the fixed ops side of customer experience with fixed ops marketing and improving that whole purpose, because that's where 90% of the sales are lost for the dealership on the second time around.
It is. You said something really interesting last week, and I've thought about it many, many times. One of those comments about the 6% and the 2% open the owner's manual, but one of the other things you said was, and I really didn't even think about it, but it's so true. I don't know if it's 70%, but it's a large number of people that buy a car from you are already defected. They're not using you. They're pump outs, different markets, et cetera. So they're not going to be coming to your service department.
Yep.
And the other shift is that by the time we get to the end of the warranty period, it's no doubt 7 out of 10 people of those people have already defected somewhere else. Anyway, we're all, it's all about the customer experience. Everything is about the client. Everything is about the client. Most people are going to hit the website first. And it's, so let me tell you my philosophy about a website. It's like a dog. See, people don't think of it that way. I have seen, and I know you have too, it's slowed down a little bit, but countless dealerships over the years switch from one website vendor to another website vendor to another website vendor. Some of it's being somewhat controlled now, but even that to some degree is still happening. And because they think, oh, so and so recommend, oh, it must be great. Well, let's sign up for them because they do this, this, and that. And where my analogy of a website is like a dog is because, okay, it's not a set it and forget it. Dogs need to be watered. They need to be fed. They need to be played with. They need to be let out. It requires every day making sure that that pet is okay and got what it needs to flourish. Websites are the same way, and they're just not doing it. And so we created this product for the fixed operation side because it's been treated like an afterthought. All the money, all the time, energy is spent on the variable side, which is new and used, and that much on the fixed side. So if you can find service parts and accessories, it's dismal. The customer experience is horrible. Everybody's online. Everybody's looking for 1, 2, or 3 clicks. And if you're not serving it up, they're out of there because there's somebody else that can serve them. So that's what we do. We offer, actually, in my opinion, in a vast majority, our stuff not only meets, but exceeds anything they're doing on the variable side. So it's a level 10 experience. Unfortunately, after that, it drops to level 2. Because people, yeah.
And just going back to the original thing that you just said about the defection.
Yeah.
It is so prevalent because the internet opened up the ability to buy elsewhere. Before the internet became prevalent in the car business, everyone stayed in their local areas. They wouldn't move past 50 miles. You can call up a dealer in Oregon living in South Beach, Florida, and say, I want that Toyota Tundra, and they'll ship it to you.
That's right.
And that's basically what's happening now. The manufacturers might get smart again, like Mercedes was when I was with Mercedes back in the day, and saying you can only sell 2% out of your AOR, your area of responsibility. And if you sell at 2% or greater out of your AOR, then you lose all your trunk money.
Yep.
And basically, when we were selling them, we didn't sell outside of our AOR because we always knew the owner of the dealership would be at his cottage or his cabin or on his boat or somewhere, run into someone and say, yeah, I can get you a car. And you couldn't disappoint the owner. So that was your 2% that was used up from that ownership. So the managers, nobody ever sold outside. Sorry, we'll refer you to the local dealer because that's where you should deal.
So great point. And to some degree or another, it was that way. Because I remember when we got our first website with super, super ultra fast AOL dial-up modems, man, back in the day, 1996, 97, that's when we got it right. That's when we got our website. Anyway, most people would service in their general facility. But even starting back then, which is morphed today, for every one of those franchise dealers, there are 16 non-franchise entities salivating, lying in wait. Because you know what? They know the dealership is going to drop the ball.
Yeah.
So we wanted to help turn that around.
And you have. Wendy, your thoughts?
Oh my goodness, where do I begin?
At the beginning.
At the beginning. So I really liked what Peter talked about. He and I had a lengthy discussion about the dealer that wanted to fire all the agents and et cetera, and put AI in there. Peter and I disagree in that Peter thinks, which I completely agree, that the best place for me and my jam right now with my company is I don't want to do outsourced internet lead management anymore because the field is saturated. And better get that jar out, Rhonda. Better get that jar out.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are expanding, even going to other countries and giving shit service to our dealers. That's Wendy's take right here. You heard it right here first. Actually, second and third and fourth. First of all, we're overthinking it, you guys. We need to dumb it down. We're people helping people, man. Talk to them like they're human beings and don't worry about getting every word right on a script and whether you're doing what the OEM, since when do OEMs teach phone skills anyway? I mean, sorry guys, but it's right here. Oh, you need to come to Lethal Sales. Man, Wendy was letting everybody have it last night. Do it. But anyway, you guys, everybody is they're not even qualified to train people what to say on the phones. Talk to somebody like Tony T who's done it. Talk to an OG who's been in it. Last time when I was with Amato years ago, my GM busted me down from BDM of 6 stores because I refused to go close the leads by myself at the Nissan store because they couldn't get it done from the centralized location. They needed somebody hands-on. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Well, I MacGyvered things like I do. And I worked my pay plan and I made the same money managing, but I closed 98% of the inbound phone ups, 98%. And I had about an 80% show rate. So we're people helping people. Dumb it down, listen to your customers, find out what it is they want and give it to them. And then make sure that it's a streamlined transition from establishing rapport at the BDC level, let them get first touch on the leads. Then, and this too I did in 05 back with Heiser in Milwaukee. Yeah, do the initial outreach. If you engage, because they're right there at their devices right now. They just hit the submit button. Be there, pick up the phone. They'll be like, wow, that was fast. To which I say, isn't that the way it's supposed to be? And then you acknowledge what they came for, you listen to their needs, and you offer a solution and you get them in. And if they're just starting, then you offer an information day. Sounds like you've got a lot of things you got to figure out. Let's do this, Mr. Customer. Let's set an appointment for an information day visit. Come on in. All I need is 30 to 45 minutes of your time. We'll go over all your vehicle and financing options and give you a solid trade value for your vehicle. And then you'll have everything you need to make an educated buying decision. Those are age-old word tracks, but they work, you guys. Like, don't stop trying to shove things down their throat. The other mistake they're being is they're turning everything into an inventory call. How are we going to get rid of our aged units if you keep selling an appointment for that car over there that was the ad leader and then they get to the lot and the salesperson's like, oh, we sold that car 3 days ago. That's just BDC. They say whatever because they get paid to set appointments. So that's a whole circle of what the heck, or in Russell's case, what the WTF, what the fit stops. So that's all I got.
Oh, well, I couldn't agree with you more there. Now I'm going to switch to the dealer of the day. Jason, what do you have to say?
Well, Wendy's 100% right. I mean, the sales staff is lazy. That's the best term I could put. I can tell you guys.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you say that again, Jason?
Lazy, and I think you did hear it, Russell. The instances of where the BDC sets the appointment, or a car has been sold. Those things are not uncommon. Those things happen at every dealership. However, to have a sales team or sales members that look at that upon a negative rather than an opportunity goes back to the leadership quality at that store and the culture in which you want to have. I used to, I'm going to quote Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins had stated once in a seminar I was at, he goes, every no is an opportunity to find another way. Every car that has been sold is an opportunity to find another one that meets that customer's needs. You mean to tell me out of a lot of some 350, 400 cars, you can't find one, not one, that might meet that customer's needs, that might not meet that customer's budget? Or are you too lazy to go look? Are you too lazy to put the work in? Yes, that's the answer, because you want the low-hanging fruit. You want that easy stuff because we are a culture now, in my opinion, that is afraid of working. or not brought up on working. They're afraid of the task and doing the extra hours and staying late or making that extra phone call. They all want to punch the clock out at 5, 6, or 7 o'clock or whatever time it is, and that's, it stinks because that's not how I was brought up. That's not how the car business was to me when I was raised in the car business. And it's an educational thing. It doesn't start with us as leaders, dealerships, or anything like that. It starts long before they get to us. But we have to do our best to change their minds, change their style, and change and adapt to them while they're also having to adapt to us. I mean, it's a weird world out there, and that goes back into also like, you hired this person for a reason, but you want to fire them so quickly because you see that they're not making those phone calls, they're not doing those things. Show them the way, because why bother starting over at square one, in my opinion? You need to educate that person, teach them if they're doing something wrong, and then you can have a customer experience that's going to be through the roof. You're going to have a salesperson that will actually care, somebody that will actually ask you the right questions, listen to those questions, take what you say and find the one thing that we need to hang our hat on that is going to be that buying cue. And that buying cue is where we're going to take the next steps and the next steps. And that's where we're going to go with that thing. And there's so many of them out there. And there's so many things I could tell you that it's just, man, it's like we could do so much better. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Jeff, I noticed Mary decided to come back.
Hello, Mary.
Mayor, we're talking about, well, you know what? You know.
Hold on. Can I say something to Jason real quick?
Yeah.
Here's what I learned early on, because I grew up old school. No doesn't mean no. No means I need more information to get a yes. It just needs to be rephrased a different way. I mean, it's just it's incredible how many people say no and that's it. It's over. It's not. That's just the beginning because they want to say yes. Anyway.
Can I layer just one more thing?
Go ahead.
So the other thing is, I mean, what am I hearing? Like, here's the thing. So for when you have a BDC and if they get first touch, whatever, we sell appointments, not cars. But the problem with salespeople trying to set appointments when they're doing outreach is they're trying to sell the car. They need to be taught how to sell appointments so they can get them into the showroom. And that's where the magic happens. That's where you do the road to the sale. That's where you do the meet and greet and the needs analysis. And you sell them the right car at the right price with a payment that they can fit into their budget, not the one they're dreaming about or whatever. So cross-train your BDC people and your salespeople and let them learn what it's like. And then if they just do the first touch in Toyota sales, then to Peter's point that I forgot earlier on the BRD, business retention department, put us to work on your DMS lists of whether it's my favorite, like I said, is service or sold but not serviced or serviced but not sold or inactive or bought elsewhere or and get us on the phone because we're the relationship magnets, but AI can't do that. So for Peter's team to want to get rid of all the BDC for all AI, who's going to police the AI?
AI cannot
the human
smile
side.
at you, and they cannot empathize
the human side.
with you. Yep.
There you go.
No.
Good stuff,
Hey,
Jason.
Mary, how have you been? We appreciate you joining in with us last week, and you've had a week to reflect on our mental instability on this program. What are your thoughts?
Hey, Larry, thanks for having me back. My thoughts, I really liked what Jason said about show them the way when he was talking about training his salespeople. I heard this quote recently about from a leadership perspective that your worst employee is a leader's fault, because we have as leaders have the duty to train and make sure that the onboarding and they know what to do. So I think that he's definitely right. You just need to show them a way. And I think that really resonates with me. From a customer perspective, I'll just share a story. My first car that I bought, I was super excited. It's a big purchase in your life. When I showed up to pick the car, nothing was done. So I had the underlay in the lots of additions to the car, and nothing was done. And on the lot, the battery was dead, and the tires were flat when I showed up to pick my car. And that has left a lasting impression on me for many, many years. And I think I bought my first car like 15 years ago. So I definitely think that customer service is what people remember. It is the impression that you leave on them. And I think that gets you more customers. It gets people being raving customers for you when you do show them good customer service and you show them that you care about their experience. Because buying cars is also like buying a house. It's a huge life moment for many people.
But Mary, that seems a little radical. Why would you want to be nice and take care of the people that are paying your bills? I mean, seems like a strange concept. I think what we need to do with these salespeople is give them a copy of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Effective People and keep an electric cattle prod. So every time they complain to Wendy about the BDC making an appointment. Now, when I started my BDC, a guy came in and he was cursing. These girls, they should have never brought this guy in. I TO'd the deal. We made $5,000 on the guy. Why would you ever be mad at somebody that gives you an opportunity to talk to a customer? It's just frightening. They say ignorance is bliss. Most sales staffs are very happy. You draw your own conclusion. How about if we hear
Hey,
from Erica?
Mary, real quick, Larry, I just want to know if Mary's going to be around for a little bit. I want to go get my wife because she said I was right. And I think my wife needs to hear that. Is that
She ain't
okay?
gonna believe it from her either. I barely believe it. Let's hear from Erica. She was kind enough to tune in. Let's hear what she has to say, and then let's jump to Mike and Fred and Jeff, and let's get everybody rolling. We appreciate you all. Erica, what do you think?
Fly on the wall today. I think it's a great topic of conversation. I think that there's a lot to be said for great customer service. My first real job was Home Depot corporate. And the one biggest takeaway I took from that job was the customer is always right. I think people don't realize that anymore. They don't give enough, they don't pay enough attention. And for whatever reason, the other thing that I feel is there's not enough responsibility in the world. And I think you were kind of hit that a little bit, Larry, but
Erica, I don't want to interrupt you because your points are brilliant, but I think that the root cause, I sound like Kamala Harris now. The root cause is people don't feel accountable or responsible. When I got into the business, if somebody got fired, man, it was really tough. Now people have 9 jobs in 2 years. So if you're not worried about keeping your job and keeping your customer happy, you're being responsible, fire me then. Of course, you're going to have that rundown. Go ahead. You just got me thinking a little bit there. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what it's a personal responsibility that don't responsibility for their own lives, their own, their decisions, choices, whatever. As a salesperson, it's on you, but you can say that can you guys hear me? I just got a message.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. You're having a little bit of an audio problem. I have to work with Elon Musk tonight, but I'll come over tomorrow and fix up your computer. I'm really good with this stuff.
Thank you.
So
yeah, I agree. I think it's a big issue of taking responsibility. And I think that's the leader's job to make sure that everybody knows that their job is their job and it's their responsibility. And for it, I also think it's the leader's job to give them the tools and tactics that they need, and as much training. I think a lot of training is left out nowadays, and I think people do need a little bit more of the Tony Robbins type, take responsibility, that type of training, and I think a lot of that is left out now. So,
Erica, I'm not that old, but when I was a small baby, okay, my mom and dad, like a lot of parents, would park me in front of the TV. And I remember this handsome guy who was president of the United States looked into the camera with no hat. He single-handedly killed the hat business and said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. How we got from there to where is my check is baffling. Okay.
So baffling. I just want to add something because it came to mind that when we look at the journey of the individual through a dealership, they start off as a lead. The lead arrives at the dealership. Once it arrives at the dealership, whatever pathway it comes in, it becomes an opportunity. That opportunity, once the physical person becomes into the dealership, is a customer. And when that customer is actually heard, they can be converted into a client. And that is something that a lot of people don't look at. And personally, I can't stand the slang of this business, and it drives me insane. If a customer actually understood what an up was, and they laugh about it and they talk about it all the time, but an up is go get up off your ass and go serve that customer. That's what an up is. That's where the term is. Get up and look after them. Well, they're the people that pay you. Why are you disrespecting them by saying, "Oh, I got to get up my ass and work for you"? Oh,
Peter, let's be real, okay? What do salespeople talk about all day? It's not sex and it's not sports. It's that there's no business. And then a car pulls up and 3 veterans go, "That ain't a buyer. Send the rookie out."
Yep.
If we're that self-defeating in our philosophy, what do we expect? Hey, let's jump to Mike Larkin and Jeff, and let's get our boy Fred Thorn in here. We appreciate your input. Michael, how are you, sir?
Awesome. Thank you very much for passing the baton.
Erica, you don't know Mike Larkin? He got mugged and he made friend with the mugger. "Hey, nice gun. Don't shoot me. Take my money. It's okay." Very friendly guy.
Mike's the one that invited me.
I did a little research this week, and I did.
No, wait a minute, Mike. You did research? Because that's
Yeah,
not like you.
You know
You usually
what?
have a blindfold and a dartboard, don't you?
My both earlobes were burning, but I found out that I found out the question of how do car buyers buy, and just a real simple question. They said 76% of car buyers look on the internet. So you got 25% of them that are old school tire kickers. I don't want to, do the internet at all. 76%. Out of that 76%, there's 3 buckets they go in. They go into directly to the website. They go onto a third party to find their actual car. And the third bucket is they go on to sites like Google, and they want to read if you're a reputable company to do business with. Well, 2 out of the 3 is sexy to car buyers, but they're leaving out the reputation which their market has given them by the tens, if not thousands, of reviews. Most of them are good reviews. They're not marketing those reviews to get more customers. They're leaving that part out. So when it comes to leads and leads coming in, I'll talk to Russell about this, but how many of those that are in those 3 buckets come to a website and look for the services? I don't know if you know that, Russell, but I'd be fascinated to know the data on that.
Wait, Mike, before you jump to Russell, Jason Reed, I can see him taking notes because he understood that on the internet there was only porno and pictures of cats playing the piano. So this whole thing that buyers actually go to the internet is fascinating. Did you get all that, Jason, or is your wife still trying to figure out you were right about something?
No, I'm good. No, I get the cats, porn. I'm good. I'm ready.
Mayor, this is what you decided to come back to. We got to get you Netflix or something.
At least Mary knew it, because last week she thought it was a podcast that she was going to be attending. So she volunteered herself this time, knowing exactly what she was getting herself into. And
a direct descent into madness.
the most current statistics I have is approximately 30% of all people end up on a dealer's website are looking for service-related information. Now, Peter's helping me sort through some of that, but that I can honestly say that that is probably a little on the light side. Wouldn't you say, Peter?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wendy brought up a point about the BDC not being together with sales. I say this to dealers all over the country. And Wendy, you got your hands on everything. How many people still aren't having sales service meetings? Everybody's gotten horrible leakage out of service, but how many people are putting their teams together and saying, "You're not adversarial. We need you and you need us"?
Larry, we had a great conversation on Service Drive Live on Sunday. It was about, what was it even about, Russell? I don't remember, but what it alluded to was the fact that the service advisors don't know how to sell. They were
Oh,
never
no.
taught.
Yeah,
So
that was,
stick them in the BDC, stick them in the BDC to train with the agents that are setting the retention calls and the first oil change and setting up the experience for the meet and greet. And
Yeah.
then get them co-video or something and have them send a video introducing themselves when the day before the appointments are there, have them look at the appointment, send a short video. Hey, I'm Wendy. I'm your service advisor for your appointment tomorrow. Look for me when you walk in the door. In the meantime, I was looking at your vehicle history and it looks like you're maybe ready for tires. Is that something you'd considered? We got a great special going on. Cue Russell with all the specials on the website. And make sure that
Hang
the
on, guys.
specials that you're promoting with your BDC are in line with that you have on your website. So you didn't get all this, well, I saw this on the website. Can I get that too? And then not only is the BDC not educated, sorry to jump in, Larry, but the different channels of communication are representing different promotions and one doesn't know what the other one's doing.
Well, everybody complains there's not enough business. How about going into your damn service department? How about going into your orphan files? Hey, let's hear from Jeff Scherer. Jeff, how are you, my buddy? Great to see
I'm
you.
doing very well, thank you. Good to be back on the grid. I think I missed last week. Did I? Yeah.
Oh,
But
you missed the cash giveaway. It's all right. Erica
It's
said
good to
she
see you
enjoyed the
back out
money.
of jail, Jeff.
I wanted to first touch on something Jason said about lazy. You know, I think a lot of salespeople, and Larry, you can echo on this if you want. What's the least amount of effort I can give to sell a car?
Well,
You
they
know?
don't even want to engage to give the effort.
Well,
They look at you like, what does that guy want? We're at a damn car dealership. He probably wants to buy a car. He
And the-
didn't come here for pizza.
I use the analogy a lot about leaning back in the chair versus leaning forward.
Yep.
You know, if I'm leaning forward, I'm watching that drive. Wow, there's an up or whatever you like to call them. And then to Wendy's point, people need to listen more than they talk. You know, a lot of guys say, oh, he's a great salesman because he never stops talking, right? And it's really before you should talk and open your mouth, you got to listen, read the lead, whatever you want to say, but listen to what the customer wants and repeat it back to them. That's how, and again, bring Peter back in. People want to be heard.
Wait a
You know,
minute. Think about it, everybody. We're coming off of COVID and coming off of how socially demented we are. Isn't it more important than ever? Because it seems like all we ever do is holler at each other or ignore each other. If you're a good listener now, if you're an active listener, if you tilt your head, if you repeat things back, you make people feel super comfortable because subliminally they're thinking, wow, somebody's actually paying attention to me.
100%. And, you know, it starts with listening, and you can't listen when your mouth is moving. Sorry.
Hey, Fred, we didn't hear from you yet, my buddy.
That's all right. Now, see, I have no experience in this stuff. Just,
Whoa. I had a guy say to me, I have no sales experience. I said, do you have any brothers and sisters? Yup. You have a girlfriend? Yup. I said, then you sell all day long. We all have
Okay.
experience. And you live with Wendy. Wendy's a handful, brother. We love her,
Yeah.
but she's a handful. Okay. So if
And you
you're
coach
dealing
our
with
agents.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're dealing with Wendy on a constant basis, that ain't easy. And Wendy's dealing with Fred, that ain't easy. Erica and
Hey.
Mary, I'm married. My wife's going to get into heaven ahead of Mother Teresa. All she did was deal with lepers. How'd you like to deal with Larry Feldman on a steady basis? So we believe you have experience, Fred.
that reminds me, Larry. Is your wife right there?
No,
haven't met her
I'm in a
yet.
hotel room.
What the
Remember,
heck?
I'm in
Well-
Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I
come
told
on,
you.
Peter,
It's okay.
you can jump on
Well,
that.
have your
Peter.
girlfriend come out. Let's
Which
talk
one?
to her.
oh, shit.
You know, it's funny you say that. The hooker they gave me had bad breath. Now, what kind of reputable dealer doesn't fulfill a
Exactly.
contract with a Jewish vendor from Philadelphia? The world is just going to hell. It's just no good. You're right, Wendy. Nobody's doing it right anymore. Aren't
That's
you glad
more,
you mentioned
that's
that,
more
Fred?
than one Tic Tac,
Really?
Larry.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
I'll be dead one day. I don't want anybody at my funeral to say, he was a quiet man. Look at Mary. Mary's like, I'm glad I live in Canada. All I got to do is put up with hockey players. This guy's nuts.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
That's right. Peter's there too.
Yep.
And since I
Who
stopped
haven't we
talking,
heard
I
from
actually have
tonight?
tea.
Who haven't we, anybody hasn't spoken their piece tonight? Because, man, we appreciate.
We
the
haven't
heck
heard from Rhonda.
Rhonda,
Rhonda.
Help me, Rhonda.
So-
Help me, Rhonda.
I bought cars with my husband. I bought cars without my husband. And this might be interesting. It was easier as a single woman to buy a car than it was with my husband.
Now that's interesting. Why, Rhonda, in your
Why?
estimation?
I'm not sure why, but whenever I had my husband with me, there was a problem. You know, we had a deal, the deal fell through. We go home, we clean the house, we didn't have a car, we'd have to go back somewhere else. I guess it's because of the way I shop. I am not like somebody who's gonna utz over something. I say, see that? I want that. How much is it? And I'm out of here.
Hey,
That's an
guys, how about if we
interesting-
just clone Rhonda? I mean, I love customers like that.
That's
Nobody
an
believes I shop like
interesting-
that.
That's an
Mhm.
interesting thing, Rhonda, because, I had a lot of experience in the marine business and the boat business. And we used to review showroom camera,
Hmm.
and you saw when the family walked in, or the husband and wife, the salesperson would immediately turn to the husband
Right.
and start selling to him.
And maybe
That's
that was
because
the
they fell
problem.
out of the stupid tree and hit
You're
every
right.
branch on the way down.
Absolutely
Listen,
right.
so we're official. Bruce Springsteen is a liar. He is not the boss. Mrs. Springsteen is the boss. Anybody that doesn't talk to the wife or the girlfriend first is a moron. And there's no other way to phrase it. Because what happens is you ignore the wife or the girlfriend, you walk away, and the girlfriend or wife says, "Get me the hell out of here. I don't like this guy."
Yeah, because my husband was like, his whole thing of buying a car was you have to argue about floor mats. That was his thing. You couldn't walk out without floor mats, and they had to be free. You know, there's other things in a car.
I
Hey,
just
Russell.
love the way
Tires.
you said
I
"Uts."
found a very pragmatic representative, didn't I?
Yeah. But that's it. That's how I shop for everything. So
Well, and I'll go back to something that I think Larry alluded to earlier, and Peter said, when you sit down at a restaurant, the first 10 seconds of that server coming up, whatever they say, if they smile or not, you just know how the rest of that meal is going to go. Why is
Well,
it
wait a
any
minute.
different?
Hey, would you, Jeff, dial down, because this is a commonality we all have. Everybody in this show has eaten something spicy, and a good server runs over when you took your first bite and said, "Here, I got you an extra drink that's spicy." And we've also all had this. You're dying. You're ready to set the table on fire to get somebody's attention, and you can't find anybody. Once again, some servers realize the more likable they are, the quicker the service, the bigger the tips, and the more you'll become a regular. And some people are oblivious. It's just so frightening, because at least at a restaurant, you're going to be busy at 5 o'clock or in breakfast or at a certain time. In the car business, unless you're smart about prospecting, you don't know who's coming. And when they come, you would think you would have an unbelievably elevated sense of excitement.
And
Instead, it's like, oh my God, what do they want?
I think Wendy will echo phone, same thing. Those first words out of your mouth on the phone set the tone for that whole conversation.
Yep. Remember the old days
Absolutely.
when they used to tell you, make sure you're smiling over the phone and make sure people can hear it. Cool. Well, as
I've had
usual,
this since 2007. It was my niece's when she was working as a college student in my first BDC. Smile while you dial.
what is that? A rabbit on there, Wendy?
Yeah, because we opened in April of 07. It was Easter, and she bought it. Yeah, had this sucker for 17 years. I mean, I've had this wonderful piece of, sorry.
Yep. No, we got it. It's okay.
my
You weren't
my
close.
jar here could really use a little input, folks.
What the
Hey,
hell?
it's not, we have a very polite crew. What can I say? Does anybody have any thoughts? As always, we Peter and I and Rhonda appreciate you to death. Erica, Mary, you guys are always welcome to pop in anytime you like. You know, we've really built a nice little community here, and gosh, we're so appreciative of you all. I can't even begin to tell you. Yes, sir.
One final thing, we also want you to know, I think I speak for everybody. If not, somebody can straighten me out. But Larry, Peter, and Rhonda, we appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Mwah.
We do. Truly.
Excellent. Okay. All right. People said nice things about us. We said nice things about you. I think we're wrapped.
Pretty much.
Where's our joke? Where's
good.
our joke?
All right. All right. A joke. Let me see. I'm trying to think what I can get away with here. Can I tell the one, the Canadian one, because Mary hasn't heard it?
Go ahead. I've heard it.
Mayor, I've closed several Canadian dealers with this joke. Okay.
Okay.
This guy in Los Angeles, just a high powered, you know, the slick back hair, sharp as a tack. He knows he's going to get a promotion. He knows it. The big boss calls him into the top office in Los Angeles and he says, well, I guess it's the worst kept secret in this whole place. Okay. You got the promotion. And he high fives him. He says, boss, I'm so excited. Will I get the office next to you? He says, we don't need you here. We're rocking here. We need you in Canada. He says, boss, why would I want to go to Canada? There's nothing there but whores and hockey players. And the executive stands up and says, my mother lives in Canada. He goes, really? What position does she play?
Well, there you go. That one
That's
went
good.
flat.
I am
Yeah,
funnier in
good.
person. What do you want from me? Send me a check. I'll show up.
Good.
No problem.
Flat like the
I'm
ice
laughing
rink.
inside.
Y'all have a blessed night.
All right.
We're
Good
still
night,
reeling from our
everybody.
loss in the Stanley
You
Cup.
know,
Yeah, that's for
Thank
sure.
you.
Everybody
Thank you.
stay
See you
healthy.
guys.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much
Take care.
for joining us.
Bye.
Bye,
Great
everyone.
time. Take care.